What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, February 1st, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 2:59 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East. So, I want to update you on the situation with Iran. So apparently, U.S. forces are waiting for the weather to improve before beginning their weeks long campaign on Iran and proxy forces. So I want to just show you the weather map over Iran and the Middle East. And what's interesting is you can see here that most of the bad weather is over western Iran, and apparently there's a lot of snow coming down in western Iran, including Tehran. Now, in Iraq, we have some light rain over Baghdad and eastern Iraq, but it looks like the majority of the bad weather is over Iran right now, and it's forecasted to last all the way through tomorrow afternoon. Here's tomorrow morning. Okay, so by tomorrow morning, much of the snow moves east, but there's still some snow in the western part of Iran in the mountains. But by tomorrow afternoon, this is tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 5 p.m., pretty much 95% of the snow is out of Tehran and western Iran. So I'm guessing that the operation may start tomorrow. Okay, and it looks like they're going to hit Iran directly. Okay, because there's no bad weather in Syria, there's not much bad weather in Iraq, but Iran has really bad weather right now. And this is coming from CBS News. CBS News said today that weather will be a major factor in the timing of the strikes, a U.S. official told CBS News. Okay, so this is the only area that has bad weather, guys. Okay, so it looks like they're going to go after Iran directly. Maybe Biden finally realized that there's no other option here. I don't know. Maybe he's feeling a lot of pressure from other senators, but you can clearly see lots of snow in Iran, but nothing else. Pretty much good weather everywhere else. So we'll have to wait and see. And we also have some breaking news coming in from Florida. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced today that he will deploy 1 battalion of the Florida National Guard to the border with Mexico in Texas. And he's also going to be deploying the Florida State Guard for the first time in history. The Florida State Guard is separate from the federal government, so Biden will not be able to federalize the Florida State Guard, and this could amount up to 1,000 soldiers. Okay, so this is huge news, guys. Absolutely huge. And we currently have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. Here we have a B 52 Stratofortress nuclear bomber that was doing loops over North Dakota, over Minot Air Force Base, and it flew south to Nebraska and it got aerially refueled over Nebraska. Okay, so here's the B 52, and here are the two Strato tankers that took off from Milwaukee and met the B 52 over southeastern Nebraska, refueled it, and came back. So, very interesting. We also have a nuclear war command and control plane up in the air doing loops just west of the Stratcom bunker at Offutt Air Base in Omaha, Nebraska. When these planes fly in loops like that, it usually means that they have deployed their trailing wire antenna and they're sending out messages to our nuclear armed submarines. So, U.S. nuclear forces are on high alert, and we do have confirmation that a few days ago the U.S. moved 3 B 52s to Ben Gurion International Airport, which is in Israel. Okay. And here we have a presidential doomsday plane that was airborne last night. It took off from Omaha, Nebraska, and then it did this big square over the Midwest and then landed at Omaha, Nebraska. So a lot of doomsday plane activity over the last 2 days. And apparently, U.S. Air Force personnel in Iraq received a memo in January ordering them to remain on standby to support a possible U.S. ground presence in the Gaza Strip. This was reported by The Intercept on January 30th. Okay. So it's possible the U.S. is going to send some ground forces now into the Gaza Strip, and U.S. Air Force personnel need to be ready for that. And U.S. officials have confirmed to CBS News that plans have been approved for a series of strikes over a number of days against targets, including Iranian personnel and facilities inside Iraq and Syria. So they have confirmed that they will be going after targets in Iraq and Syria. But like I said, there's no bad weather in Iraq and Syria. So what I'm wondering is, if the U.S. is not trying to do, the classic 1-2 punch here, get all these proxies to focus on one hand while the other hand comes around and hits them. So they want the proxies to think that they're only going to hit Syria and Iraq, but they're also going to hit Iran and other places as well. Okay, so it could just be a big distraction, a psyop, okay, psychological warfare. And the Pentagon has confirmed that the American retaliatory operation will be implemented in the Middle East in a few hours. Okay, so they're going to start implementing this in a few hours. And we have initial reports of another attack by Iranian-backed forces on a U.S. base. This base is in eastern Syria in the Al Omar oil field. And apparently, Iran has withdrawn its senior military leaders from Syria. And I wanted to just let you guys know that I'm continuing to receive emails from people across the country and also around the world telling me that they're seeing unusual military activity where they live. Most recently, I got emails from people in northern Arizona, Wisconsin, Nevada, and North Carolina, all telling me that they're seeing unusual activity of fighter jets and various types of military planes in their area where they live. And the Houthis targeted another commercial ship today. They hit one yesterday, and today they hit apparently a British commercial ship. And the International Monetary Fund says that commercial shipping in the Red Sea has decreased by 37% compared to the same period last year and is continuing to decline. That is huge, guys. A decline in shipping by almost 40% in the Red Sea. Okay. And Hezbollah targeted a strategic radar site of the Israeli army on Mount Hermon on the border between Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. And Israel hit a target today in southern Lebanon with heavy ordnance in the area of Tyre Harfa. And apparently, Ukrainian naval drones destroyed the Russian warship Ivanets in Crimea overnight last night. And German Chancellor Olaf Scholz called on EU countries to urgently start discussing an increase in military supplies to Ukraine. And later this week, Zelensky's going to sign a decree on the dismissal of the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzhny. This is coming from CNN. According to CNN's sources, Zaluzhny's potential successors include the head of the main intelligence directorate, Kirill Budanov, and the commander of the ground forces of Ukraine, Alexander Syrsky. So very, very interesting. Either Syrsky or Budanov are going to replace him. Very interesting. And again, Ukraine destroyed another Russian warship overnight last night And Ukraine is going to be receiving high precision GLSDB bombs, which are not even in service with the US yet. The first batch is going to arrive today. And we have massive convoys of farmers protesting the EU in Greece's third largest city, Patras. So these farmers' protests are spreading across Europe. They're not just in France and Germany. They started in Germany, now they're in France, in Belgium. They surrounded Brussels. They were outside of the EU headquarters building today. And the U.S. approved a $4 billion drone deal for India. This is coming from the U.S. State Department. And there was a powerful coastal storm called Cyclone Ingun that made landfall in Norway with winds of 108 miles per hour. And this update was sponsored by Patriot Supply. Guys, Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you have to go to preparewithnyprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life and includes over 2,000 calories per day. All of this food is stored within 6 rugged, water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. And Patriot Supply is also doing a 30% discount on the Vesta self-powered indoor space heater and stove. With this thing, you can safely heat and cook indoors. You don't have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning. You don't have to worry about burning your house down. It uses special canned heat, and it comes with 24 cans. Each can will last you 6 hours and can warm up a room of 200 square feet. So to get the deal, also go to preparewithnyprepper.com. And also, Patriot Supply has a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival items. To get to that store, you just click on the Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page, and it'll take you to their general store. And they have all different kinds of discounts here on various items. They have MREs, they have water filters, they have potassium iodides, fire starters, anything you can imagine. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply and 30% off of the Vesta indoor space heater and stove. So I want to just show you guys some of this massive reconnaissance that occurred last night in the Baltics. I've been telling you guys that this could be the flashpoint for nuclear war and World War III, the Baltic countries, okay? Here we have 4 NATO reconnaissance planes operating in Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. There's a French recon plane here that was flying along the Russian and Belarusian border. There's a U.S. recon plane that flew along the Russian-Belarusian border as well and around Kaliningrad. There was a Swedish recon plane that patrolled inside of Poland. There was also a P-8 Poseidon sub-hunter flying in the Baltic Sea off the coast of Kaliningrad. And there was also a Swedish reconnaissance plane in the central Baltic Sea patrolling around the Gotland Island. Okay, so NATO is heavily monitoring the Baltic Sea region from Poland up to Finland. And this could be where the war with Russia begins. And I think it's going to happen this fall. Okay, because I think Putin is afraid that the next president might be Trump or someone who's definitely stronger than Biden. And he may figure now's the time to strike. Okay. We also had 2 Russian doomsday planes leave Moscow last night and head east towards Siberia. I have no idea where they landed. And we also had a P-8 Poseidon sub-hunter up in the air this morning off the coast of Lebanon. Very interesting. And we also had a British Eurofighter Typhoon and an aerial refueler operating off the coast of Cyprus in the eastern Mediterranean. And here we have some pictures coming from Brussels. This is right outside the EU headquarters. And there were a bunch of angry farmers here setting fire to things. They knocked down some massive statue and they were clashing with police today. And here we have some footage coming out of Greece. Okay, we have all these Greek farmers now. So we have farmers across all of the EU taking part in these protests. Very interesting. Massive amount of farmers here. And here's some more footage coming out of Greece. Look at this, guys. Look at all these farmers here. You can see one of them has the Greek flag. They have pretty nice tractors, actually. They have a John Deere. I see a John Deere over there. And we also have some footage that came out of Venezuela last night showing Venezuela deploying the Buk air defense system somewhere inside of Venezuela. Okay, this is an old Soviet air defense system. And so they're paranoid, obviously, so they're deploying it inside their country. But that's the latest breaking news that I have, guys. I will be back later on tonight with more updates, either in a video form or as a live stream. But the situation is very, very serious. It looks like the U.S. is waiting for this snow to clear out from Iran so they can strike inside of Iran. And it looks like this could begin within a matter of hours, okay, as was confirmed by the Pentagon. They said that it's going to start within a few hours. So I'll keep you guys updated. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon below so you get notified when I post these updates. And until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.